Hours ago, back home in Brooklyn, I had the chance to catch up with Metta World Peace. As you'd imagine when you talk to Metta World Peace, it was a very interesting conversation. Here it is. All right, Metta World Peace, thank you for joining us on behalf of Buttercloth. And if my eyes don't fool me here, based on what I saw on Shark Tank, I think you're wearing Buttercloth right now.
I am. I'm wearing Buttercloth. It was founded by the Dan Tran from Vietnam, and they came to me to help with some growth and a little bit of marketing, and it was amazing. We was on Shark Tank. We got 250,000 from Robert. Thank you, Rob. And then we also made like 250,000 in 24 hours, the most we ever made. And we're looking forward to getting our product to more people.
It looks great. I wanted to ask you, actually, I thought it when I was watching the show. What was more nerve-wracking, going out there to pitch a product or the first time you played an NBA Finals game?
I think that was more nerve-wracking because I've never pitched a show on Shark Tank before, and Charles Barkley was there. I was looking for Damon, but he wasn't there, and Mark Cuban was there, who I often email sometimes, and he gives me some advice. I love Mark. It was really cool just to be there with those guys, and when we got the investment, I felt like when I got drafted, because it was the first time that happened to me.
If memory serves, it went well for you guys, but I don't think Barkley actually gave you a support. Did you give him a hard time afterward?
I was hoping Barkley was supported because he's on TNT halftime, and he's sitting there in a shirt that doesn't move. Like Buttercloth, this thing, it moves, and like it stretches. And Barkley needs this shirt, and when you sweat, it goes away. It's just like he needs this. I didn't get it. The perfect spokesperson for us.
I could use it. I'm sweating in my shirt. All right, so I do want to hit a little hoops with you, and one of the stories of the moment is LeBron and the Lakers. They're playing really well. We all associate you with the Lakers. Just for you, as a fan, as a former player, as a former Laker, what's it like to watch LeBron James in the purple and gold night in and night out?
It's really cool, but for me, I play with Brandon Ingram and I play with Zubac. So I'm more excited about those guys. And then I'm also from New York. So then I'm also really excited for Lance Stevenson. And then after that, LeBron James, for me personally, as a Laker fan, is really encouraging to see the Lakers have the opportunity to go to the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure LeBron James is not trying to be out the first round. A lot of people got the Lakers fourth or fifth, and LeBron James in his head, he has them first. So I can very well see the Lakers going to the finals.
Kevin Durant is friends with LeBron, and they played together on Olympic teams, but not as teammates. And I think a week ago, KD said that it's toxic to play with LeBron James, just the attention that comes with it. What did you make of those comments in terms of your view of playing with that level of superstar?
It's just the NBA is weird. So the NBA, they pay the best players. So at times, if you're playing on a team with superstars and you are a really good player and your worth and your value is higher than what you're getting paid, sometimes those type of things can hurt you. What the NBA right now is doing, they're at an all-time high in revenue, so they're paying guys a lot of money. Sometimes as a basketball player, you want to play your best. And when you play with these superstars, then your stats is not showing how good you are. And it can be frustrating. So when you get to a team with superstars, you got to already have your mind made up saying that, okay, I might not average 20 or I might not average 25 or whatever the case may be. And can you prepare for that early? Because there's not enough balls. There's only 30 teams. Pretty much one really big superstar on each team with a couple other superstars. So I can see where KD was going with it, but I think playing with LeBron is fun. He's a really good team player, but he's also a really good individual player also.
You were a great defensive player in the NBA, and we saw last week LeBron's frustration with the new rules and just you really can't put your hands on guys. LeBron and Lonzo and some guys put their hands behind their backs to make a point to the officials, and it made me want to ask you, I know you're coming on, do you like the way that the game is played and officiated, particularly if you're trying to be a defensive-minded player?
Well, when I played, I was always able to be physical because I'm smarter than the rules. So once you make a rule, I'll figure out how to make it work for myself. Even when I finished playing my career, I still was able to touch I still was able to hit, and it's like the it's all about like spacing, and it's all about timing. Certain times you can't make contact with a guy because maybe you're a step slow. You can still be very physical in this league, but it's all about picking and choosing. When you're physical, picking and choosing when to give up your fouls. A lot of times I would try to save my fouls, for the third quarter, and then I'll waste like 4 of them, and the referee is not going to call all 4 fouls, back to back to back. So it's all about saving your fouls, picking and choosing when to be physical, and picking and choosing when to disrupt the flow of the game.
Another debate that was water cooler talk last week was the 2001 Lakers team. If they somehow got in the time machine and played this year's Warriors team, a debate on who would win. Shaq thought it would be the Lakers. You obviously play with Kobe at a different time in Kobe's career, but I'm curious where you come down, that old Lakers team or today's Warriors team in a 7-game series.
Well, the future is the best. And the future is always going to be the best with technology, with innovation, and everything. If you look back in the 60s, guys could only dribble with their right hand or only their left hand if you wasn't Pistol Pete. The athletes are better. The teams are better. Literally, we have no shot to beat these teams, the future teams.
A big topic right now in the NBA, not just the NBA, just American culture, is mental health. And Kevin Love, in particular, has been in the spotlight with the work he's doing with mental health awareness. He was on this show talking about it. I think a lot of people forget you were one of the first NBA players to bring mental health issues to the forefront, to the light. You thanked your psychiatrist after winning, I think it was the NBA Finals. What are your thoughts on where we've come as a society, the NBA as a league, about this topic not being taboo and people feeling comfortable discussing this publicly?
Well, when I first came out and I said I want to thank my psychologist after the championship, and I had a really great game 7, I did it because my psychologist really helped me out. I also was trying to get programming on television network, but I didn't have the resources or connections to get the television or programming network to give back and to show people, the importance on releasing the stigma. So I had to do it game 7 of the finals. And I made a really big impact. A lot of therapists called me and they see me and acknowledge the work that I've done. So I'm hoping one day I can have my shot to provide programming so I can really do programs that can benefit kids and people that need mental health help. We're still actively pursuing it. Obviously, I was at the forefront of having a vital and chaotic career. So I've been in the fire, came out on the other side, and I think it's very important that we have more programs, whether it's sports, whether it's drama, whether it's movies, more programming that can help inspire people to deal with their mental health issues.
Yeah, that's great. The NBA has become a league of stars who have known each other for a long time. A lot of guys are friends. Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, most recent example because they almost certainly played against one another in an NBA game for the last time. But if there's a few exceptions, Kobe didn't really want to be friends with everybody around the league. Maybe that's because he has said that, he was raised largely in Italy, didn't play AAU basketball. Giannis up in Milwaukee said recently he doesn't want to play one-on-one basketball and be buddies with these guys. You played sort of in the intersection, the old school and today's game. What do you think about guys being friends with each other versus the Giannis Kobe approach where it's like, outside of my teammates, I'm cool?
Well, I think one of the main factors, when I grew up with the old Knicks Barkley era, and I wasn't, about to be friends with anybody. When I came into the league, it was more about like, who do I want to go to war against today? So even some of my best friends, you look at Elton Brand, Lamar Odom, these are my really, really good friends. I mean, you look at Elton Brand, Lamar Odom, my really, really good friends. And I can't recall one time that I had lunch with these guys during my career. I played 18 years. Because I was always thinking about the competition. I was overly competitive. So imagine people I don't know. And in practice, I often didn't go out with my teammates because although they were my teammates, in practice, I always looked at you as an enemy. I was really competitive. Jermaine O'Neal, who was a really good teammate of mine, the first time I had lunch with Jermaine O'Neal was 14 years later after we played with each other at Indiana. It wasn't because I didn't like Jermaine. I was just overly competitive. So I can see where the Greek freak is coming from. But I do. I also like what LeBron James is doing. When you leave the NBA, all you have is your teammates and people you develop those relationships with. What I'm doing now is trying to redevelop relationships. I wish I would have had these relationships for a long time. So I see where LeBron's coming from, but then I also see where the Greek Freak is coming from. But the thing is, I see these guys trying to be friends with the stars. What about the B-level players? What about the C-level players? So now, with that being said, I like what Giannis is doing. You know, I don't hear about anybody reaching out to Joshua Cook, you know, from the New Orleans Saint Pelicans. I don't you know that. You know, you don't have to just reach out to the stars. Reach out to everyone. Let everybody be involved in those workouts. You know, kids that you don't know. So I see some points, some really good points from both sides.
All right, just a couple more questions for you. You won't remember this. You've met 1,000 reporters, but you and I spent a little time together on a television set many years ago. And just in between the commercial break, you told me that you did art. I think you had a show in Canada at one point. Are you still painting? I've been curious for years. Where's your art career at?
You know, man. So when I left Queensbridge Projects, you know, my brother just went in jail for 10 years for drug trafficking on Greyhound bus. I was going to St. John's. I was lost at that time. So then I picked a major that can keep me focused. I picked architecture, then I picked art. And at that time, I was trying to express myself, so I don't express it through frustration. And so I later went to the NBA 2 years later, and it was really hard for me to express or release. You see what I'm saying? So art was something very, very important to me. To this day, art is very important to me. So I do find myself painting, but there's nothing where it would have been if I would have continued my art major in college at St. John University. You know, but I still have a passion and love for art.
It's really interesting. All right, we've taken up a lot of your time. It's your last question for you. Thank you to Buttercloth. It looks great. I'm sure it feels great. I gotta end with like one of the cliche questions, but everybody's interested. MJ or LeBron, when it's all said and done, who do you think should be considered number one?
I'm honestly gonna say Metta World Peace. I want to tell people out there, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody's gonna believe in you. So never put nobody above you. So when you ask me that question, you gotta say who's number 2 or 3, because I'm always gonna put myself number 1.
All right, who's number 2?
Number 2, I would say it's hard. Kobe's amazing. Jordan's amazing. And you just mentioned Jordan and LeBron, right? I mean,
yeah.
These guys, and you didn't even mention Kobe, and we forget about Will Chamberlain, and we forget about, I mean, it's such a tight race. You know,
yeah.
Like your ex-wife or your new wife.
All right, well, we've set it on you at number 1. Metta, it was great talking to you again. Very cool of you to make time. Thank you very much.
All right, cool. Thank you.